In today's news cycle, we see more and more cybersecurity breaches that have a dramatic impact on our nation, businesses, and everyday life. You'd think that with all the obvious warning signs, that it'd be easy for organizations to communicate the value of cybersecurity across their organization, and especially to leadership. Unfortunately, this isn't always the case. The complexities of cybersecurity and the vast amount of work most companies need to do to catch up can seem overwhelming, and it's difficult for those outside of IT to fully understand. So if you want to increase your cybersecurity posture, but don't know if your leadership will be on board, here are a few tips to help you communicate the value of your cybersecurity initiatives. A cybersecurity assessment is a great place to start for third-party validation of the things you may have been saying all along. It can also expand your visibility into unknown critical vulnerabilities, leaving you exposed. These assessments are relatively low in cost and provide enormous value to help level set the entire leadership's expectations. Use the assessment results to build a plan of action and milestones, or POAM, for communicating the how, what, when to support the why. Unless you have an unlimited budget for security, this plan will help you and your organization tackle the highest risk areas first and determine allocation of resources to address vulnerabilities over time. Keep in mind you're building a living and changing roadmap that could stretch out over years, not an overnight fix. But the plan of action with the cybersecurity assessment will help you and your organization see the full picture and get buy-in for completion. The latest Verizon or IBM breach report can give you the average cost impact and time to remediate breaches, but these numbers can oftentimes seem abstract and not tangible to most organizations. Instead of looking at averages of companies in the broader landscape, find a specific monetary metric within your organization that will hit closer to home. For example, if you're a manufacturing company and have a certain number of units produced a day, build a case for your shop floor being down for 2 weeks while locked out of your IT and OT due to ransomware that came in through an email. Show the value of every day you're not operational and ask the question, how much cash would we need to withstand zero production for 2 weeks? Then compare that to the cost of your cybersecurity initiatives. Build the connected web of tools needed to respond to the attack through anti-phishing software, endpoint protection, backup, disaster recovery, and incident response. Tie those items to the use case and show how little or how much you're doing now to prepare. To specifically build CFO support, it's important to look through the lens of revenues and costs of goods sold. IT is often viewed as tools by which an organization receives efficiencies and functionality to operate. It falls into the COGS line items, but usually with measurables of efficiencies. The expansion of SaaS offerings means more opportunities for streamlining work and increasing return on investment, or ROI. So in CFO and CIO terms, utilizing technology to generate more revenue per dollar spent. The hidden cost of this approach is that for every dollar spent on IT, for efficiency or operations, there should be additional consideration for the cost to protect that IT. We're used to the terms like infrastructure debt or technical debt when it comes to operations and development, and these images can be useful in creating support for the hidden costs of implementing technology now for efficiency, but not considering the risk exposure and security debt accrued. You may think a CFO's thinking is outside of your responsibility to address, but unless you can communicate in their language the significance of security, budgets won't change to support proper cybersecurity measures. Another great place to focus on building support is your cybersecurity insurance policy. If you don't already have one, we strongly encourage you to review the risk mitigation benefits of this option. If you do have one, review the coverage and preventative measures needed to remain covered. Premiums are based on your risk, so the more security measures you implement to reduce your risk could also decrease your insurance costs. There could be easy reallocation of funds from insurance to cybersecurity, but it's important to review your current policy and discuss how your security roadmap will affect this policy in the future. Keep in mind, and in the discussion with leadership, there are no magic bullets. The goal is increasing the cybersecurity maturity of your organization over time and increase your capacity to respond and proactively address the growing threats. Understanding your leadership, their roles, and motivating factors like the ones we've discussed will help you continue to build your case for better cybersecurity.